everybody, welcome. This is Patty Bennett. Today, you can probably tell what we're doing, right? We are going to be making these beautiful cards with the Stampin' Up! Country Flowers bundle, and specifically with the Country Woods designer paper. And I have some tips for you about coloring and shading the jug, the flower, pitcher, teapot, I don't know, whatever you call that, and this cute little stool. So that's specifically what I wanted to go over with you today, but of course we're going to be talking about how to color the flowers and layer all these pieces and make the cards. You can see that we're using Stampin Blends, and we'll go over all the parts and pieces and all the tips. But for right now, I just want to make sure that everybody has found the live before I go ahead and start. Uh-oh, hang on. You know, I swear I always put my tablet on mute, and then I don't know why it just starts playing my voice over there. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is Patty Bennett. I am so happy that you're here today, and I hope that you're excited to learn some tips about using your Stampin' Blends markers and making some pretty cards. If you are joining live, could you please say hello so that I know that you're here? And then if you're watching a replay, no worries, you can say hello. I just won't be able to see your comment live, of course. So, hey, I see Chris-Ann and Carol, Jackie, Lori, Christine, faithful Christine from Sydney, Australia, 4 a.m., right? Oh my goodness. Cold and wet there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I'm just so happy that you are all here. I'm pretty sure I saw some other names going by, but now they have disappeared. And so I just wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. So Chris-Ann, I see your question. I'm going to go over that. I had a few questions on the Facebook page this morning, so I will review that. Oh, good. Shannon is getting this stamp set today. Awesome. I think you're going to love it. Hello, Robin, Phyllis, Kathy, Tammy, Mary, Renee. Hello, everybody. Hi, Dawn and Pam. Janet. Oh, my goodness. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you're all here. We're going to go ahead and get started. I will just reintroduce myself and then we'll get started. So my name is Patty Bennett. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I do blog at pattystamps.com. So if you're looking for more samples, ideas, inspiration, projects, coloring combos, tips, anything, you name it, you'll find it there. There's over 6,000 posts. I think there's over 6,100 posts now there for you. These cards and the details will be on my blog tomorrow, but the supplies, so if you need Stampin' Up! Supplies, they are already listed on my blog. So feel free to jump over there after this live if you need any supplies. We are using the Country Woods. It's kind of a mega suite because there's 2 bundles in it and 2 packs of designer paper. You'll find it on pages 48 to 51 in the most recent Stampin' Up! Catalog. We are going to focus on the Country Woods designer paper today and the Country Flowers bundle. So those are the main products that we are using. You'll see, like I said, all the other products are on my blog. So if you need to shop for those, if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to help you with your order. You can see we're we're using lots of colors of Stampin' Blends today. And I do have some of them printed out. The rest of them are actually all on my blog today. But for what we were going to concentrate on, and that is coloring the pots and the stool, I've got sort of this nice sort of neutral color palette with these browns and grays and then 2 blues. So those are the colors that we're using for the pots and the stools and the jug. And then these, colorful colors, shall we say, are what I used on the flowers. What you use on your flowers, totally up to you. You can totally use any colors on those. But if you want these pots and jugs to turn out like I did, then you'll kind of want this palette that I just showed you with the pool party, the summer splash, and then kind of any browns or grays that you might have. So I mentioned we're using the Country Woods paper. This is an awesome selection. At first, I was kind of like, wow, who needs a pack of all wood grain? Well, I learned quickly that it's very popular. I love it. I'm already on to my second package, and it's almost done, and everybody needs a pack of wood grain paper. Let me just say, the one that we are using to stamp on is this one that's kind of, I guess it's a coastal cabana background color with the distressed wood look. So I'll show you that, and then I'll show you the shading. And you can see I've used other patterns as my backgrounds, and it's just fun. I you know me, mix and match girl. I love to do all the mixing and matching. Oh my goodness, so many people just jumped on. Hello, everybody. Oh, that sounds delicious. Johanna just made some chili and rice. That sounds delicious. Yeah, she doesn't want my tummy to rumble. You know what? My tummy's already rumbling. I don't know why. I get so hungry. My tummy always tells me. Yes, the DSP is back in stock. It came back in stock, I don't know, early this week, Mary, I think. I posted on my business page that it is back in stock. Okay, so several people have asked, and I'll go over this now. These trays are from Amazon. This is the brand. It's Story. They spell it with capital STOR and then a little I. I don't know if it matters when you type it in the search bar, but that's how their logo is. And they're called stackable trays. They are on Amazon. They come in a million billion different sizes. And the nice part is I don't want to dump everything, but can you see this little kind of a lip thing here? That's what makes them stackable. So you can stack them inside each other and they kind of lock in, and you can stack them. I don't know, there's no other way to say it, right? I have, I think, almost every size that they offer. The reason I found them actually is that my husband several years ago got a new tool chest. It's huge. It's really big. It's like bigger, taller than me, and it's huge. And he was saying, you know, I need like trays to put in all the big drawers so that I can organize all my tools. So we were online looking, and that's when we found these. And there's, like I said, tons of sizes. We ordered like every size there is, and then I just let him pick. You take what you want for your tool chest, and then I will use some of the extras. Well, I've ordered a lot more since then because, trust me, these are amazing. And I don't store my blends in these. I only do this when I'm doing a video. It just helps me to have them already out and organized into rainbow order, or like per project or per card. But they are wonderful for if you're doing an event or just working on a project. They are fabulous. So that's the answer to that. And yeah. What size? Oh, the size. Okay, let me grab a ruler. So this one is 6 by 9. Oh, the little one is 6 by 9. This one is 6 by 12. Yeah, 6 by 12. The big one is 6 by 12. But, you know, whatever size you want, it doesn't matter. Whatever fits in your area or whatever, you know, you can use anything. Thank you. I'm so glad that you like the cards. Hang on one second. Sorry. Sorry, I was sneezing this morning, and now my nose is just kind of running like when it wants to. What do I store them in? Oh, Mary, I wonder, well, I don't want to disconnect the phone accidentally. You can see it on my blog. It is my, the Stampin Up blends storage. That's what I use. And so if you just go to my blog, pattystamps.com, up at the top, there's a button that says My Craft Room, and there are about 40 different links on that page for all the different things that I use in my craft room for storing everything from my ink pads, blends, cardstock, blending brushes, dyes, you name it, all of it is there. So you can look there. Thank you. You're so sweet. Yes, they are stored horizontally. I do, like I said, I do not store them in this. This is just for the video. They are stored horizontally in the Stampin' Up! Storage. So yes, you are right. Yeah, the little bird who was asking, Lori, that is in the country birdhouse. And I did add it to this project because I was, you know, all those cute little birdhouse projects that, you know, all these that I shared with you a few weeks ago. I had a bird left over, and so I stuck it on one of these cards. But we are going to just concentrate on country flowers today. I'm glad you like it. All right. Well, that was a lot of chit chat, and I'm sorry, but you know, you guys love the tips. I love sharing with you, and so I'm happy that you ask questions, and I'm happy that we have that extra time to go over all these things. So let me just show you here. I stamped the stool on this pattern. It's the opposite side of the blue. And then I stamped, sorry, my fingers, they have problems with arthritis, and sometimes it's just really hard to manipulate things. But I do my best. The pot and the jug I stamped on this pattern. So what I wanted to show you today was the shading that really brings these to life, because when you stamp on it, like, it's fun, it's cool, it's different, but when you shade it with the blends, that's when it really, really comes to life, and it looks amazing, and it looks antiquish and old, and, you know, all those fun things. And then the stool, you can see here the difference of just stamping it directly on that wood grain and then adding some shading. So that's what I'm going to go over with you today. We'll color a jug and flowers, and we'll put together a card, but I'm concentrating mostly on these coloring tips for you today. And I did answer a couple of people on the Facebook comments earlier this morning. I have over 35 free video tutorials in a playlist for Stampin' Blends. All of my Stampin' Blends videos are in one playlist. You can view them all together, and I will be linking that, or it's already linked in the blog post tomorrow. You can't see it yet, but it's linked in the blog post tomorrow. So if you want to see some of the other videos that I've done with Stampin' Blends, this will be number 36 that will be added to that playlist, and you are welcome to watch them. They are all free on my YouTube channel. So there is the stool stamped onto the wood grain paper, and really, that looks totally fun. You would not have to do any shading, but I'm going to show you what I did because I like a little extra shading. And then when you stamp this jug or that little teapot type thing, you want to kind of pick an area that's not totally plain. See, like right there, it would just be like all blue. But then also you don't want it to be like right up here. You don't want it to be totally obliterated with no blue. So kind of pick an area, like I'm going to go right there, where I've got some blue and I've got some of this area that's going to look a little bit antiqued, shall we say. I don't know. Is that the word? Distressed? Maybe that's a better word. So that when you add some shading, you're going to get the blue, you're going to get that distressed area, and you're going to get the colored shading. So let's do the stool because that's super easy. And there's no right or wrong on this. You can make it look however you want. Here's two examples. I'll leave them right there. Hopefully you can see that. And this is a matter of playing. And of course, I always suggest on a little scrap area here, do some coloring. This is crumb cake, light and dark crumb cake. And just kind of see, what is this going to look like? Is it going to fade into the paper? Is it going to show? Is it too dark? Is it whatever? That's where I'm going to start, is with crumb cake. And I am going to just come in from the sides, because normally when you want something to look round, you're going to leave the middle lighter and you're going to put some shading at the edges. And then if you would envision light coming down, these legs are going to be in shadow. So I'm just sort of scribbling in some color there, and then maybe down the side a bit like that. Now, can you see already this light crumb cake that I started with is already fading, and it almost doesn't even show anymore. It's just giving a little difference between the light paper and the light crumb cake, just a little. So then I'll go over and add the dark crumb cake, a little bit in here. Just kind of going over what we did with the light crumb cake. Just do a little bit here. Then I'm going to try, let me see if pecan, this is light pecan. I like that. That's a nice warm tone. So I'm just going to be brave and add some pecan there. And then we're going to go over it and blend with our lightest color that was light crumb cake. And we'll give this a minute, and you're going to see how great it looks when all those colors just sort of take a minute to absorb into the paper, blend with each other, and it just gives you such a nice, different, more realistic look than just the wood grain. But really, if you don't want to try that, at least stamp it on the wood grain paper, because then it at least looks like wood. So I think that's just an easy, fun way to, oh, thank you, Tammy. She just posted a link to my Stampin Blends playlist on my YouTube channel. That is so sweet of you, Tammy. Thank you. Yes, totally transformed, right? Totally. But hang on one sec. If you really want to see a transformation, let's look at if we were to just stamp this on basic white, if you were going to just start coloring from scratch, then there's a real transformation, right? White versus wood grain versus giving it some shading. So you can really see, why not start with this to give yourself a little base of the wood grain, and that color palette already. So that's my suggestion for that. So now we can talk about the pot, the jug. I don't know. I guess it's a jug. Is it like a milk jug? Would that be the right thing to say? I think that would be the right thing to call it. So here's an example, here's an example, and here's an example. Just trying to get them all into view for you. I think you can see that. I'll scoot up a little. I think you can see those. Yes, I think you can. Perfect. All right. And oh, hello. Hi, everybody who's just joining. Yes. Oh, that's a good name for it. Stacy says, I love how rustic this looks. I think that's the perfect word. I wasn't finding the word, and that is perfect. Thank you. Yeah, Tandra, we went over that. The bins are from Story Stackable Trays on Amazon. And you can rewatch the beginning if you missed all. I went over all that because everybody was asking about those. So same thing that we just did on the stool. I'm going to do light pool party, dark pool party, light summer, oh wait, that's dark. Dark summer splash. I'm not sure, but I really can almost not see the difference on those caps. So I'm kind of forever grabbing the wrong one, but it's always a good thing to read it, right? So that's light summer splash and dark summer splash, light and dark pool party. I like to give myself a little roadmap here so that I don't accidentally grab one and just be shocked, like, oh my gosh, that's so dark, right? So I'm going to start, as I always do, with my light, adding the shadow, kind of like we did with the stool, edge in, amount of shading of, you know, a little bit lighter in the middle, a little bit darker to the edge. I'll move to dark pool party, go over it, but not coming in as far. And friends, just remember, this is only paper. This is fun. This is relaxing. This is coloring therapy. Don't worry. Don't stress. This is just fun, okay? You can always stamp it again. You can always leave it and come back to it. So don't be afraid to try this. Okay, so now with the light summer splash, this is where, and I'm going to use, whose word was that? Who said rustic? Oh, now I've lost the, no, the video has not ended. Did everybody lose me? I hope it didn't. Well, anyway, whoever said rustic, this is where I'm going to come in with just kind of haphazard, darker colors to hopefully make it look more rustic. This is not just to shade it. This is to give it a little distressed look. So that was the light summer splash. Then I'm going to move to some browns and some grays. And I think, let me see what, yeah, light pecan pie. So adding a little bit of shading, kind of just haphazardly, but following a little bit where they have some shading, or excuse me, not shading, where some of the rustic parts are. So the brown and the blue blending together is almost giving like a mustard-ish color, sort of, a little bit, kind of. Then I think I'll move to, let's see what the light granite, yeah, light gray granite. This is going to almost be like our light pool party was, where it's just very, very light and it's going to just sort of blend into the paper, but just give it a little something, something, just a little bit. And then I think, I'm just looking at my colors. I'm going to be really brave. And I'm going to add some little squiggles of the dark pecan pie. Again, just playing, just having some fun, right? Don't stress about this. Kind of like that. I think it's just about there. I just kind of like that. And you can see they all come out a little different, right? Depending on where you stamp it, how much color you add. So there's four different pots there. They all look different, but they all used the same color palette. Uh-oh, it's blotchy and you're all losing me. I'm sorry. Oh, there was a glitch. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I think when you watch the replay, it will be okay. And it should be fine on YouTube later today. So I apologize for that. I didn't even notice anything on my end. Am I back? Is it all okay? I'm just going to pause a minute and make sure. Okay, Tammy says it's clear. Margot says I'm back. Connie says I'm back. Okay, Kel says it's fine. All right, I'm just going to proceed. All right, so that is my method of giving a little life and a little bit of shading and shadowing and realistic, a little bit. You know, I know this is a stamped card. It's not a real milk jug on a stool. I get that. But we're just trying to add a little bit to the making it, a little bit to stepping it up to, so it's not just plain, it's not just on white paper, it's not just on that, it's just got a little something extra. So we'll die cut these to put them on our card. But I'm going to put this color palette back and switch over to the colors, the Patty colors. And let's do a little bit of coloring on the flowers. So I did pre-stamp, and this is my favorite, and so that's the one I'm going to use. This one's pretty. Nothing wrong with this one. I just happen to like this image better, so I'm going to do that one. And how about if you all vote? Do you want me to go into the purples or do you want me to go into the Patty colors? Let me know. I'll pause a minute and you guys can vote and tell me which one do you want me to do. Thank you. Robin, that's a great way to say it. Adding character. I like that. And thank you, Maureen. Thanks, Ruth. Thank you, everybody. Debbie says do the Patty colors. Donna says do the Patty colors. Shannon says do the Patty colors. Oh, all right. So, well, there we go. Everybody says Patty colors. Then that's what we're going to do. But isn't that fun how you can use two different color palettes and it almost looks like a different stamp? I think that's really fun. So, there we go. You have choices, right? All right. So I can see what I did was started with Flirty Flamingo. And I don't know why, but I always start with the largest image. I don't know. Is that a thing? Do other people do that? I don't know. And I'm going to add some light Flirty Flamingo and some light, is this light? That's dark. Light Pumpkin Pie. Kind of makes these little flowers look like California poppies, which we have all over in this area right now. They are in full bloom. We see them when we go walking. And did I miss anything? I'm just comparing my two images. Okay. So one layer of color. Oh, yep, I know what I missed. One layer of color. I've said before, but if you're new, I'll just go over this again. If you want to add color that's going to blend, then you want to keep coloring right away on the same image. If you want to add color like this one, where I've kind of got like these little shaded lines and darker shading there, you want the image to dry before you move on to your next color. And it doesn't take long. I mean, just a minute, but that's the trick. So I am going to move then to dark flamingo here. Did you guys hear the blue jay out there? He's calling me. He says, "Where are my peanuts, lady?" And I'm going to add some flamingo here, but it's mainly going to be Poppy Parade on this one that gives the shadows. And yeah, I'm going to do Poppy Parade on the rest for the shading. So moving to Poppy Parade. I think I'll do the skinny tip. I'm not ignoring comments, by the way. I will check in a minute. I'm sorry if you had a question earlier. I apologize. You know me. I get into the coloring mode and then I forget to look over at all your comments, and I apologize, but I will. I promise. I'll look at comments. here because that's dry. Remember, when it's dry, then that shading will stay instead of blending in. Sorry. I usually use the big tip, but for these smaller spaces, I'm feeling a little more confident with the bullet tip. And you know me, I go pretty quick. This is not your 2-hour work of art image. This is fairly quick. I want to make several. Let's get it done. Let's color. Let's just be loose and have fun with it. And then the light pumpkin pie on top of this one, just to get those to blend a little bit. And I'm going to add, I want this one a little darker. There we go. And then for the leaves on this one, I want to show you a tip here. This is something that we talked, did we talk about this last week? I think. I was talking to you about the cool and the warm tones. And what were we coloring? Oh, it was the yes, the magnolias. Remember that? And I said there was one of the magnolias, I just have one left over here, that I had colored with, I think it was the lime and the granny apple, but it was too warm and I wanted it cooler, and I added some shaded spruce and it cooled it down. Do you remember that? And it was a dramatic difference and it was perfect. So I just want to show you, if you wanted this to be a little more monochromatic in the sense that the colors really just blend, the Coastal Cabana goes really well with the Shy Shamrock. So do you see that that's like a monochromatic? In the color wheel, you're going to find those colors really close to each other. They're blue greens or green blues. Okay. But then this one, even though we have the Pool Party and the Coastal Cabana and the Summer Splash, which are the cool colors, I've used the warm greens of Granny Apple and Lemon Lime. So do you see that difference? There's no right or wrong. I'm just pointing it out because when you're selecting your colors, if you want it to pop more and stand out, use a color that doesn't just blend right into the rest. Do you see how this just blends? And this one stands out because it doesn't match. And it's okay. It's a work of art. It's whatever you want it to be. But I'm just pointing it out, okay? So I am going to do the lemon lime and granny apple for the greens, just the same as we did, because I like it, because it's my favorite combo, and because it's my card and it makes me happy. If you wanted to switch up and do different shades of green, that's up to you. It's your card. You can make it however you want it to be, right? So I don't know if your eye sees what my eye sees, but my eye sees that this is a very warm color palette. These oranges and flamingo and poppy, they're a very warm color palette with the warm greens. They are not the cool blue tones. And I'm just doing little dots of Granny Apple just to give a little bit of shading. And that's it. And that, my friends, is the Patty colors. Let's see. Oh, was there a question? How many colors are there? Almost all 50 colors. There are only a couple that do not have blends. So in the catalog, you can see on the bottom here, all of the subtles have a blend, so that there's 10. All but one of the regals have blends. All but one of the brights have blends. All but 2 of the regals, or yeah, neutrals, sorry, neutrals. And then all 10 of the in colors. So we have almost all 50. I think there's what? So 4 are missing. So 46, I guess, would be the answer. Plus, no, plus 10. Plus, we have all those, the 10 neutrals. And you know what? Let me just point those out. Let me show you those because they are easily missed. In fact, I don't even know by memory what page they're on, but I will find them real quick for you because there are 10 more colors that I use a lot. Heavens. You know, it's the mystery catalog, right? We all know about it. And it takes me forever to find the things. Here they are. So here are the other 10 colors. It's page 131. And if you don't have like pecan pie, crumb cake, the ivory, and the bronze, then these 10 colors are fabulous. I have all of them because I love having options of all the colors, but those are the other 10 colors. So technically, I guess it's 56 colors. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's mesmerizing. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, multiple blends. I talk about that in most of my blend videos. I basically just never use just the light and dark of something. I always combine at least 1 to 2 other duo packs, light and dark. That's just my preference. Okay, so I don't know why. Why do I say we? It's not a we. It's a I. I will die cut, and we are going to make the card. And I never even showed you the bundle. I mean, I showed you in the catalog, but this is the Country Flowers bundle. This is what it looks like. And so I did the milk jug and this image and the stool for you. And I will die cut them, and then we will assemble the card because I want to show you a few tips for assembling. Isn't that so fun? You keep spinning it around until you find the right orientation. At least the stool is super easy. And you know me and my little Post-it flags. That's, to me, just the best way to be able to turn around and die cut at my machine. So I hope you all have fun things planned for the weekend. As soon as I get this video uploaded to YouTube, my computer's getting disconnected and I'm taking it in because I have a company that is building me a new computer. And I just told them basically bigger, better, and faster. Those were my parameters. So they are making me a new computer and they've got it all set up and ready, and they're going to transfer all my data and programs and everything to it. And so hopefully when I get home from the soiree this weekend, it will be all ready for me. I'm so excited. So just die cutting. I'm not gone. I'm just over here die cutting. I know some demonstrators die cut on screen. I just don't have room right here to have the die cutting machine under the camera. My camera is pretty low because I'm watching through my camera as I film for you, and I just don't have space. So I just turn around and do it at my die cutting station. But trust me, I did it. See, I did it. I'm not like anything fake or anything here. It's all real time. But I am putting all of these back because I've learned that if I don't put things back right away, they can really easily get lost on this messy table. So there's our 3 pieces. Like that. Isn't that cute? I don't know. Why does this make me so happy? Why does that just make my heart just so happy? It just does. And here are some options to keep it simple. I did all white, thick white bases. So 4 1/4 by 11. So I pre-cut all those when I was doing my cards. And then I pre-cut some 4 by 5 1/4 wood grain patterns. So remember, we can look at both sides to see what we like. So here's just a few that I did. And then I've got both the perennial postage die and the deckled rectangle die as a layer. So the layer would go on top. And then I pre-cut the smaller layer that fits right on top of that. So that's sort of the basics of what I want to build. But, you know, I have all the different patterns to look at. So what I thought would be the easiest thing to do is to just lay these out on top and see if I like it. Because to my eye, when I'm designing a card, sometimes it's like, okay, you know, that's pretty. But then I try something else. I'm like, okay, wait, not only is that pretty, that's amazing and that's gorgeous and I love that and I want to do that. So let's see, what would it look like on this? Like, okay, so far nothing is like screaming at me saying, holy cow, that's amazing. You have to use that piece. And that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm just playing until my brain says, you have to do that. I don't think I did any of them on the dark. That's kind of dramatic, right? Okay, I really love this. And it goes back to that whole color theory thing about warm and dark. Excuse me, warm and cool. And I don't know if you can see it, but the reason this is speaking to me is because there's this yellow behind here, and it's bringing out the peach and the warmth of that image. So that's what's speaking to me. And so that's what I'm going to do. So we would put that on top of the white decal. And then, of course, we have the opportunity to decide what paper is going to go behind there. Now, I'm not going to use the same pattern. You could, but I'm not. That's going to be too cool for my eye. That's quite possible, kind of like that. I think this is going to be too, yeah, I don't like that. It's too cool. Don't like that. Now this, maybe, because then that brings out the gray tones. I'm kind of liking that, actually, like a lot. I'm kind of liking that. Now, this is a little test. I'm going to look under here and see what I did before. Oh, okay, so that's funny. I did the same piece here, but then I put the blue in the background. So let's see, do we like that better? Well, but then it's the same. I mean, I already know I like that. You know, I love that. I really love that. But I'm going to do it differently just so we can see an option. Let me do a little cleanup here because we don't need these. Sorry. Just like visual clutter is making my brain overloaded here. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I like that combination. I like that. So just using the top fold thick basic white to give it a nice good crease with my bone folder. Okay, Dana liked the tan paper. Terry likes the gray. Oh, the size of the smaller DSP, let me measure that for you. Where's the small piece? I don't want to take it out of here because I'm going to upset my design. Here it is. Here's the small one. So the small one is the 3 by 4.5. I think that's what it's supposed to. Wait, hang on. This gets cut off. I'm not trusting that. 1 second. It is 3 by 4 3/8. And that's not a magic number. I'll just write it for you. Three by 4 3/8. That's kind of up to you. That's not magic. I just made it smaller than the deckled piece. You know, it's whatever you want it to be. So that's up to you, but that is what I used. And I'll give you that, my little tip about foam adhesive sheets again. So I don't know. I like this gray. I think that's going to be pretty. That is such a beautiful blue gray, isn't it? What a lovely color. And then we'll glue these two together. Oh, look how funny. It's the other side of that. Isn't that funny? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's not funny. Strikes me as funny. We probably, now that I just glued that down, I think it would have been super striking to have a really skinny layer of that under there, but I already glued it down, so too bad, so sad. So now we're going to add some of the foam adhesive sheet to the back of this piece. And you don't need a big solid piece. In fact, that just makes your card like really thick. And I don't know if it's actually very bendable in the mail, but I just like to do 3 strips on a piece about this size. Maybe 4 if it's the whole card front. Or if you like dimensionals, I would put about, I don't know, maybe 15 or so on the back of there so that it doesn't get, you know, saggy parts, because nobody needs saggy parts, right? And then our, oh wait, you know what? I want to show you a tip. On this stool, let's see. I'm going to see if you can see this difference. Do you see on the one on the right, I cut in between those legs. I didn't care for right there and right there how you can still see the paper. I don't know. It struck me as a little bit odd that the paper was still showing there. So I just cut it off. So I'm cutting just in between the legs. And probably no one would ever even notice one way or the other, but that was just my preference. Oh, now I don't even know which jug I just colored. I think it was this one. Pretty sure it was this one. I think so. By the way, just if you're new to Stampin' Blends, do you see how you can see the color that has bled through to the back? You want that. If your color is not bleeding through to the back, you have not saturated enough color on your project, which is why I always do it on some kind of, you know, scratch paper. I don't want it to ever soak through and get onto my tabletop. And I know this will be like double thick pop-up card because of popping up that layer and this, but I think it's really nice and gorgeous and an extra fun touch. So there's one more thing to do, and that is, do you see the shadows I've added under the little stool legs? I really think it helps to kind of ground the whole image instead of this thing now is floating on the card. And I honestly don't remember what color I used, so I'm just going to test out here. This is light gray granite, and this is light smoky slate. I think I used gray granite. And so I just sort of did like a little squiggle sort of under the stool legs. And I'm sure right now in heaven, my dad is looking down going, didn't you pay any attention when I taught you about shadows, and there should be a whole shadow under the whole thing and it's coming from this direction and blah, blah, you know, I get it. I know I didn't pay attention enough, but anyway, I did it. And when it dries and it kind of soaks in, it just gives just sort of enough that I think it looks like it's grounded and it's not floating in the air. So that is the final coloring tip. So here we have our 4 cards. And I think this is so fun to play with. I just love sort of this mix and match. Does it take you back to paper dolls a little bit? Right? You can do the jug. You can do this little pot. So this one, I didn't even talk about that, but it's right. Sorry, that was my husband putting stuff in the recycle bin. It's this die, and it does not have a stamp, so that you can die cut out color if you want to. And then you have the one that looks like a teapot or the milk jug. So those are your options for building your little flower vase or flower arrangement. And let me just look. Oh, thank you, Terry. She says, no, your dad would be proud. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you. Mary says, don't forget to give Patty a thumbs up. You're so kind. Thank you, Christine. She said, stunning. Oh, I'm glad you like these, everybody. Thank you. I'm just going to scroll back and see if there were any questions, but I do want to say thank you once again. I just love it when you join me on Fridays. You're all so kind, and I hope that you have a fabulous weekend and that maybe you get some coloring time. I'm going to be at the Summer Stampin' Soiree all weekend that I am co-hosting this weekend here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it's going to be about 12 hours on Saturday and another 8 or so on Sunday. Be a long weekend, but like I said, fingers crossed when I get back, my new computer will be here and all set up and I'll be ready to roll again next week. Thanks, Susan. Thank you, Kathy. Welcome, Maureen. She said first time. Thank you for joining me. Well, all of us. So kind of you. Let's see. Were there any questions? If I missed your question, could you please retype? Let's see. Anything else? I think I got that one. What is the... Oh, okay. I did get the smallest size for you. Sorry about that. Anything else? Oh, I'm sorry. I did miss a question earlier. Difference between Stampin' Write and Stampin' Blends. So yes, and thank you. Who was it? Michelle. Thank you for answering. So the blends are alcohol markers. They are meant to blend and kind of bleed together, as you saw me blending those colors. The regular Stampin' Write markers are water-based, and they are meant more for coloring directly on your stamp. So if you, let me see, do I have an image here that would be a really good example? Not really that one. Hang on. I'm looking for a good example to share with you. So for instance, on this stippled rose, oh, I have the big one packed for the soiree tomorrow. If you wanted to color directly on the rubber and color the roses one color and the leaves a different color, you would use the Stampin' Write markers that are water-based to color on this. If you tried to color on your rubber with this, it's like using a Sharpie. They're the alcohol-based markers. They're like a permanent marker, so you don't want to do that. These are for coloring in if you have an image that's like a coloring book, like these, that you want to color in. So, and thank you, Michelle, for jumping in with the answer. Oh, good, Lynn. Yes, feel free to rewatch. Let's see. Oh, good, Jamie. Thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the video. Thank you so much. Oh, Krista, first time as well. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, my tummy just rumbled. I'm starving. I hope you didn't hear that. Oh, Terry, yes, I'm sorry that you missed this soiree. The registration closed a couple months ago for it, but that would have been fun to have you with us. Let's see. Do you have a video how to match the rubber stamps? Maureen, can you elaborate? I don't know what you mean. Oh, mount. I don't know if I do, but there are lots of them on YouTube. But hang on. I'm sure I have an unmounted set right here. Let's look. Yes. So, for all of you that are done, you've seen the video and you're done, totally fine. I don't mind if you jump off. But for anyone who wants to see this, who was that asked? Maureen said, do I have a video on how to mount the rubber stamps? So the stamps you saw me using on these cards are photopolymer. So there's really nothing to mounting them other than, and I've given this tip a lot, when you take it out of the case, let it rest for at least 10 seconds. Because when you pull it out of the case, it distorts. Okay, so you want to let it sit, and then you just simply press your block onto the stamp, and then you can stamp. So that's the photopolymer. But the red rubber, you pop it out of the backing sheet and you pull this backing off. This is, you don't need this. That can go in the recycle bin. And there are different ways to do this. This is what I do. This is how I do it. Okay. So I'm going to set that down. I'm not going to touch that. So here's the image for the hamburger. I am going to peel off the backing. I'm going to set this down on my table flat, and I'm just going to hold this and I'm going to set it right down on top and press and pick it up, and it's ready to use. The extra step I do is I take a piece of washi tape. Oh my gosh, my stomach is so rumbling. Did you guys hear that? And I stick it, doesn't matter where, anywhere, absolutely anywhere on your stamp. I'm going to trim away the excess. And the reason that I do this is because several years ago, when Stampin' Up went to some new formula of stickers. I don't know the ins and outs or the scientific part of it. But when they went to the new kind of rubber, red rubber with the new stickers, these are so sticky that when you put them on your block, if they are on there for any length of time, you cannot get them off. I mean, they are stuck. And I used to like pick and pick and pick, and I would even start to separate the layers because I couldn't get it off. What that little piece does right there, that little piece of washi tape, it allows you to put your finger there and pull it up because the washi tape is not sticking at all to your block. That's actually loose right there. So it gives you that little finger hold, and you can very easily pull your stamp off. But there you go. It's ready to use. When you're done using it, if you keep this piece, then you can simply stick it back in here. I actually don't keep this. I just stick them into my case, but it's totally up to you. You can, organize however you'd like, but that is how you mount a red rubber stamp. Well, there you go. There was a bonus lesson. I'm so glad you asked, Maureen. It's always good to have a nice extra little bonus, right? Hi, Kelly. Welcome, first timer. Oh, Lynn says that's so much easier. So much easier than, oh, she's been pulling the sticker. Oh yeah, don't pull the sticker out of the sheet. That is so hard to handle it. It's way too sticky. Yeah, that was a much easier method, I think. Well, at least in my mind. Oh, good, Michelle. I'm glad you like the washi tape idea. Yeah, I've been doing that for so many years, ever since we got these new stickers. All righty. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. What's that? Oh, that washi tape was, what happened to the roll? Where did it go? I feel like I'm blind. Like, where did oh, I just tossed it over here. This was a roll that we sold for a long time. Do I still have, hang on. I do. So this is what it looked like. This random pattern, this yellow stripe, and then this. And I bought a bunch of them when they were retiring because, like, who doesn't need Stampin' Up! Washi tape? Everybody needs Stampin' Up! Washi tape. And so I just have a whole bunch of these. And so that's what I'm still using up to put on mine. But it can be any washi tape. It doesn't have to be that one. Let's see. Can you use Stampin' Write markers on photopolymer? Yes, absolutely. But not blends. Don't use your blends. Blends are only for coloring in onto the paper. Let's see. Anything else? I think that was all the questions. So thank you again, everybody. So glad that you had time to hang out, and I will see you all next week. I don't know what I'm doing next week for my live yet, but oh, you know what? I might do the burger because I've been just dying to do the burger. So it'll be another Stampin' Blends coloring lesson with the burger. I'm really, really anxious to use this. I just think this is one of the best stamps ever. And French fries, I mean, hello, French fries. Yeah. So maybe that's what we'll do next week. All right, everybody, have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.